This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here once again with the wonderful Jill Bucaro, who's joining us all the way from Georgia today from Wellness Riot. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you, Jamie.
Excellent. Did you get a good night's sleep last night?
You know what? Last night was pretty good. Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, that's interesting because today we are going to speak about the impact that diet may have upon the quality and the length of one's sleep. So let me ask you this question.
Mhm.
Can one eat oneself sleepy?
Yes. So sleep and food are like one of those amazing like cycles or symphonies that happen in the body where they're like so impactful,
Hmm.
on one another. So sleep can impact what we eat, and what we eat can impact our sleep. So it's really like a two-way street. The good part is we have a lot that we can do,
Okay.
to impact it one way or another. So let's start with what sleep impacts as far as like positive or negative with
Sure.
related to kind of food. So sleep can impact our hunger hormones, our appetite, our cravings, insulin sensitivity, and weight. So we'll start with hormones and appetite. So we have two hunger hormones. One is a hunger hormone called ghrelin, which tells us to be hungry and eat. And the other is a satiety hormone called leptin, which tells us like we're full and to stop eating.
Okay.
And quality sleep ensures that those hormones are in, kind of the right ratio and the right balance. Sleep deficiency can actually knock the levels out of balance so that we have an increase in that hunger hormone and a decrease in the satiety hormone. So we're actually kind of prompted to eat more than our body might need. And so that's impacted by sleep, in addition to and kind of connected to our food cravings. So when we get insufficient sleep or a yucky night of sleep,
Hmm.
our energy is low. And so our body is like, trying to get creative, like, how can I get this person energy? So it goes for, something to eat, right? And so it's like, wants that quick energy sources, which tends to be things like sugar and refined carbohydrates, right? Because, and if we've had that, in the past, we know like, okay, well, yeah, we do get that energy. Unfortunately, it's usually followed by a crash and there's nothing beneficial in it. But our body's like, okay, we need some quick energy. You're not going to be hungry likely for like a big salad or a green smoothie. It's going to be those like sugars, those refined like quick energy foods. It can also impact our insulin sensitivity. So insulin is a hormone that's responsible for maintaining our blood sugar by
Hmm.
escorting sugar out of the blood into our cells. Insulin sensitivity is, our body's cells like ability or willingness to, communicate or play with insulin. So as our sleep, becomes more deficient, the insulin sensitivity is suppressed. So we have, our blood sugar now can be out of balance, due to lack of sleep. And all of this really can contribute to our weight. So when we have adequate sleep, it's much easier for our body to maintain balanced weight. And when sleep is deficient, we have a harder time. We might find our body's more resistant to losing that weight or maintaining a balanced weight. So, those are some of the things that sleep can impact either positive or negatively, that have to do with like food and eating. I mean, it impacts other things like our immune response and, clear thinking. But those are some things that sleep can impact, with regards to what we eat.
So it was my understanding that, as you said, it's very much a two-way street and a bit of kind of chicken egg when it comes to
Yes.
ingestion of sugary snacks and the like, and lack of sleep. Because when one doesn't get what they say, 7 hours or more
Yeah.
of good sleep, then one will be one's energy levels will be lower the next day.
Yeah.
Hence, snacking on these kind of things to get that quick fix, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
It's beginning to
Yeah.
make sense now. Now,
Yeah.
are there any particular foodstuffs that can aid restful sleep?
Yes. So what we eat can be impactful, and then when we eat
Right.
also.
Right.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
what
Of
we
course.
eat, yeah, what we eat has an impact because our gut has such an impact on sleep. And it goes the other way too. So
Yep.
sleep, it's our gut environment or microbiome can impact sleep in the other way around. And because of that gut brain axis. So one example with relation to sleep is that we produce a large portion of serotonin in our gut. And serotonin is that neurotransmitter that has, a lot of connections to our mood,
Yep.
feeling good, but it's also a precursor to melatonin. And so melatonin, we might be familiar with like as a sleep hormone, it really regulates and has a lot to do
Yeah.
with our sleep wake cycles, does other things as well. So the environment of our gut helps that creation of serotonin, helps that creation of
Mhm.
melatonin. So some things that we can eat that are good for just our gut in general are probiotics, prebiotics, and fiber. So those are three kind of major categories that will help the environment of our gut be more, healthful. So probiotics are those live microorganisms that benefit our gut by supporting, the good guys or the
Yeah.
good bacteria. So things like fermented foods, yogurts, kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha. The one warning I would say is that, when it comes to things like yogurt and kombucha, you just want to watch for like added sugars and flavors and things like that. But those fermented foods can be really great for our gut health. Then we have prebiotic foods, which help feed the microbes in our gut. So they're like
Yes.
the food for microbes. And those are things like greens, like leafy greens, onions, garlic, oats, beans, legumes, green bananas. If you like to, I
Yeah.
don't
Right.
like green bananas, but if you do, then they're really good for your gut health. And then fiber. So fiber impacts the rate of digestion, the absorption of nutrients, and the movement of waste products out of our body, which all helps to maintain that really nice balance in our gut. And fiber is in fruits, vegetables, and grains. So any fruits, any vegetables, any grains are going to have, some fiber. So those are kind of those three major categories that are going to support gut health. And then there's a few other nutrients that we can take in that, help promote sleep for different reasons as well. So you want me to go over those?
That would be potassium, magnesium, and
Yes,
you already mentioned prebiotic fiber. This was my research over here, you see. So,
I love it.
um,
Yeah. So potassium, it can increase, sleep efficiency, the quality of sleep. It can help reduce the number of times that you wake up once you fall asleep. So potassium-rich foods, bananas, we all kind of know that, right? But
mhm.
also avocados, sweet potatoes, green leafy vegetables, seaweeds, coconut water, beans, yogurt, fish. There's tons of potassium-rich foods there. And we tend to, as Americans, probably Canadians, right? Potassium and sodium have a partnership in our body. Most of us have no problem getting sodium in, but the
Through salt,
potassium
yes.
is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So, tons of other benefits, but also, just with relation to sleeping can be really helpful.
And where would one, you said potassium in bananas, but where would one find magnesium naturally in
Yeah.
foodstuffs?
So magnesium can be in avocados, pumpkin seeds, almonds, dark
Oh,
chocolate,
okay.
green veggies, black beans, fatty fish. So you just want to look to see, what the milligrams are, to
Right.
see what the difference is. But those are some of the things. And magnesium is one of those things too that can be really well absorbed through the skin. So like an Epsom salt bath, if you've ever,
Right.
that's
Yes, 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 yes.
magnesium. So, for a bunch of different reasons, it's very calming. And so, especially if that's what's keeping you up, is, kind of like some anxiety or some
Yeah.
spinning thoughts and stress related things. Magnesium's wonderful for bringing down, like our stress response and our like kind of anxiousness. And if you've ever heard of those float tanks,
Yeah,
like
oh,
where
I've done
you
that. Yeah.
float,
Oh, yeah.
it's all magnesium, right? So really well absorbed through the skin and very connected to relaxation.
Now, you mentioned melatonin. I believe that tart cherries are very high in natural melatonin.
Yes, tart cherries is an excellent source of, not only vitamin C, which helps to promote sleep, but also that melatonin, supportive of melatonin production.
Right. I was also doing some research into foods that were rich in tryptophan. And I'm sure you're
Yes.
familiar with that. So tryptophan
Well,
being an amino acid that
yeah,
leads to the production of serotonin, hence
yes.
melatonin, and so
Yes.
aids restful sleep, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's that turkey Thanksgiving. I don't know if you have
Oh yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
Canada. We all think that, it's the turkey that's making us sleep, not the pound of butter or the gallon of
Yeah,
gravy that
yeah,
we
yeah,
have.
yeah.
It's all the tryptophan. But yes, a key building block in serotonin. So if we go, up that cascade, like you
Hmm.
said, it's the tryptophan to serotonin to melatonin. And actually, a B vitamin can be really helpful cofactor there too, B6
All
specifically,
right, okay.
in that tryptophan to serotonin, but also just B vitamins in general are really helpful for stress response. So that's can be really helpful too, just in that chain, but also on its own with lowering that stress response and leading to restful sleep.
Now, one may not be wishing to consume half a turkey before one goes to bed, but there are other foods that are quite rich in tryptophan, those being beans, legumes, tofu, cottage
Yep.
cheese, I was reading, is actually quite rich in
Yes,
tryptophan.
I had cheese on my list, but cottage cheese would make sense too, being, part of that dairy. Oats, quinoa,
Yes,
spinach again, chocolate,
yeah.
eggs. So yeah.